Let's get into it. Well, thank you everyone for joining today. This is our webinar for December, the last one in 2025. And today we're going to be talking about unlocking online reputation secrets for insurance agencies. We went with a Monty Python and the Holy Grail theme here. This is the credibility quest. So this is everything that you're going to need in 2026 and moving forward to really build the best online reputation for your insurance agency. So we thank you all for joining us today. Uh, let's dive into it. Let's have some fun here. So before we talk about our topic today, we do want to go over some best practices for the webinar just to make sure you can get the most out of it. So first and foremost, what you want to do is look at the bottom of your Zoom and you're going to look for a chat icon. And that's going to allow you to just send us any, notes, do some chit chat like Miriam and Annie and company have been posting in there. So if you have any questions, go ahead and use the Q&A channel. So that'll be under Q&A. And we have Kira on the other line here, who is going to be answering questions in real time and also just posing them for us at the end of the presentation. We will have a Q&A session for you. And just because we get this question a lot, we will be sending a resource and a webinar replay after this webinar is over. So if something comes up and you're on this and maybe a client walks in your doors and you need to answer, talk with them, go for it. Feel free to close this out or come back later. We will be sending a replay to you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. So just be on the lookout for that. And with that,
But Ian, if they leave, they can't get the prize
that's
for guessing
true.
the answer to the question. So
This is the
definitely stick
prize that you're gonna miss
around.
out on. This is what we're gonna be giving away at the end. So this is our holy grail, so to speak. So we'll show you how you can win that. There's going to be three lucky winners today. So just make sure you put your Monty Python hats on and start thinking about some trivia because that is what's coming your way at the end for everyone who sticks around. But let's jump into the agenda for today. So we are going to talk about quite a few things, but we'll make it nice and simple for you so you can strategize and take everything that we give you today and put it into action for your 2026 strategy. We're going to talk about why online reputation matters, why you should care, and start acting on these strategies. We're also going to talk about the journey of every referral. So, every agency we talk to, including I'm sure everyone here, always says how important referrals are for their business. We're actually going to walk you through what that journey looks like when someone is referred to an agency, everything they're looking about your agency online before they actually contact you and those different fall off points where if you're not meeting those expectations, you might be missing out on those leads. We're also going to dive deep into SEO, which is search engine optimization, and AEO, a newer term, answer engine optimization, and how those impact your online reputation and the credibility of your business. Then we're going to dive into credibility factors, things that you can actually take control of and take measures to stand out. And we're going to also discuss strategies, steps you can take to actually follow through with it. And then, of course, as we always do, we will have a Q&A session. But as I mentioned, feel free to use the Q&A if you have any questions. And if you have trouble finding that, you can also throw it in the chat if you need to. And we will get to those questions at the end, or if they pertain to a specific subject, we'll answer it right on there on the spot. So we welcome all of your questions and we appreciate you joining us here. So, who are we? We're Agency Revolution, if you didn't know, and this is us. So we recently went on our AR Summit in Pennsylvania. We all met up, and then we took a bus trip up to New Jersey, floated on the Hudson River. As you can see, we've got New York City in the skyline there in the middle picture.
On a
Uh,
yacht.
I don't want to call it a yacht, but
That's what they
we're
sold
not
us, but it wasn't a yacht.
we're not that fancy. Don't listen to Monica. It was a big boat,
It was a
but
big tourist boat. Yes.
and I was thinking of like below deck Mediterranean. I was like, I could be like the captain, like Captain Lee. But we also, got some hibachi for dinner. It was a great time. We get together as often as we can, usually once a year at the very least. So we're a completely remote company, but we've been in this business for a long time. We've been only serving insurance agencies. So that's just our bread and butter in terms of what we know and who we work with. In fact, we work with 3,000 insurance agencies. And so some of you I see in here, thank you. We also have a 100% customer satisfaction rating, which Monica always likes to say is technically 99.9%. So,
Yeah,
you-
we're not
but
perfect, but it does round up to 100. Although we are updating that stat
we,
just to be
we're
a
up
lot more really, really accurate on that one.
right. We have over 200 five-star reviews, and I'm sure some of you agencies here have a great reputation online as well. We have a complete insurance marketing platform, which I'll go over briefly. That also incorporates AMS connections and AI marketing tools that are constantly evolving based on your feedback. So we always take in everything that you tell us, and you're like, hey, I have this cool idea. Our team will actually look at that and start implementing those in the future. So lots on the way for sure. But let's talk about online reputation and let's talk about who we are. And what we do. First and foremost, the complete insurance marketing platform. This incorporates our marketing automation piece, and this is where we have a true AMS connection to your database and our Fuse system to send timely client communications so you can stay in touch. We also have Forge, which is our website piece of our insurance marketing platform that lets you tell your agency's story, leverage lead generation, integrate with analytics, and then you can also build in and engage your clients and prospects with that. And also, websites are a big part of your online reputation, which we'll talk about. So we have our website here for Forge. We have also our marketing tools, many add-ons that are out there for our client. So these are things that you can really boost your online reputation with as you move into 2026. And these, as you're going to see, are going to be those must-haves on your wish list. So we have business texting that allows you to do one-to-one client communication. It also allows you to put live web chat on your website directly so you can have those communications, whether it's by text, whether it's by live chat. We also have do it for me marketing, does what it says on the tin, and our team will actually help you and create a whole content calendar and publish it for you on email and on social. Local listings, this is going to be a big point of our topic today. But showing up online doesn't just mean your website. It means Google, it means Bing, it means Apple Maps, Facebook, social media. So getting shown up on those directory listings, especially the most important ones with the highest authority, is key. Local listings helps you do that. Reputation management, this is what will help you manage your reviews, get reviews on Google, and actually respond back to clients in a timely manner. And then social media, that also does what it says on the tin, if you didn't notice. So that helps you send out personalized communications. Also, you can pull from our content library that's constantly being updated to stay active on social, another important part of it. So we've talked enough about that. Let's have some fun here. Who are we? If you haven't joined our webinar or if you haven't seen Monica in a while, you get a little bit of a reminder. So this is me at the Renaissance Fair, of course, going with that medieval Monty Python theme. So I'm the demand generation manager. I've been at Agents Revolution for over 6 years now. I love to go to the Renaissance Fair every chance I can get. Usually it only ends up being once a year, but it is what it is. I'll take what I can get. And I like crafting and building and doing hobbying like that. So I actually built this whole set of stormtrooper armor. I went for like a time traveler's weekend. That's why if you were confused why I'm dressed up like that. So I actually built that. My grandparents in the back and my grandpa helped me a ton to build this armor. 99.9% screen accurate. I'll use that percentage again. Um, so that's me. I love going to Ren Fair and I love joining these webinars to really give you guys the educational tools that you need. And online reputation is huge, and that's a big part of my background, not only at AR, but in previous roles and careers. So excited to be here. And we've also got Monica joining us. Monica, tell us who you are.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Monica Barracat, VP of Operations, and I run client and marketing operations at Agency Revolution. So I handle the teams that kind of draw you in to come to us, and then also the teams that help you get implemented on our platform. and then support you all the way through your client life cycle journey. This is a photo of me and my fam. We were actually in the Villages, Florida for Thanksgiving, visiting my parents, and that was us out to dinner on Thanksgiving. Matt is my oldest on the left. He's 21 and physical studying to be a physical therapist at Ithaca College. And then Lucas is my youngest. He's 13 on the right, and then my hubby is in the back. So really excited to be back. Thanks, Ian, for letting me in. And
Hmm.
let's get some learning done.
Yeah, welcome back from Florida.
Thank you.
I know you've been back and forth quite a bit.
Yes.
So, let's talk about online reputation. Why does it matter? Why should you care in the first place? And also, why should you try to expand your existing strategy, your existing online presence? So, first and foremost, we have a big important stat here, and you might have seen this in one of our emails that we sent out for this webinar promotion. 89% of people are actually researching online before they decide to contact an agency in the first place for their insurance needs. Think about that. That's almost every single person. 9 out of 10 are looking you up online before they decide, yeah, I'm going to give you a call, get a quote, or hey, I'm gonna, maybe they have a policy with you already. They're like, well, I gotta think, do I want to renew with them again, or should I look for greener pastures? Hopefully they don't do that. But online reputation includes everything from your website presence to your reviews to social media. It also incorporates your how you show up in search. So like local listings, but also AI search, which we're going to dig into here. And so the importance of having a strong online reputation is going to consist of a few things. One, it's going to set your agency apart in the space. So if you know, in most cases, insurance agencies are sometimes a bit behind in this the industry in general, really, a bit behind in terms of the technology advancements and really taking advantage of everything that's out there. So if you think about it, if you're doing these things that we're going to show you today, these different strategies to show up and stand out, you're already doing a lot because your competitors down the street or in the next town over are probably not doing this. So you can take this
We're not
opportunity,
doing it consistently.
not doing it consistently, not doing it the right way. And so if you're taking these approaches, you're going to be in a good spot. It's also about highlighting the quality and reliability of your services. So whether or not someone's referred to you or whether they just find you organically online, they're going to be asking themselves the questions, why should I trust this agency? And if they see, oh, well, they have a great looking website, their reviews are 5 star, amazing, 300 of them or whatever. That's a big difference between someone that, okay, I go to the website, maybe it's a little outdated, they don't have a social presence at all. I don't have any reviews. Like it's hard to find their information online. You can right away tell, no matter what industry you're in, like those experiences are going to shape whether you trust someone or not. And as I mentioned, 90% of people are looking for those credibility factors that you need to meet those expectations.
As my little one would say, you're just not vibing if that's the case. If your website is not well done and not mobile responsive and you don't really have reviews online or everything looks inconsistent, you're just not vibing. Who's going to want to talk to you? But Ian, you said one key thing in terms of whether somebody is referred to you or they find you online through like a Google search, or whatever. um, that's key because a lot of agencies that talk to us say to us, I don't really need this because all of my business comes from referrals or, my referral partners or my network or whatever. But you do because your online reputation isn't just for the people that find you by chance, or through a
Hmm.
Google search because of your search engine optimization. Your online reputation matters because everyone, even those that are being referred to you, is going to check you out to make sure that that referral is actually something that they want to pursue. So just pay attention, even if you're one of those agencies that thinks that that's the only place your business comes from is just referrals. It's just as important to have a good reputation.
Oh yeah, especially something important to think about as we move into 2026. Like that's only going to become more important,
Mhm.
especially with advances in AI and
Yeah.
search. And then the other part of it is credibility. Like I mentioned about reviews, and Monica just said, that's key here. So those are those different pieces. Like thinking of it from a perspective of your client or of a prospect that's looking at you for the first time, let's walk through what that actually looks like. Let's take a step in their boots, so to speak. Taking like a more medieval term, I guess sabatons would be the more correct technical term for knight's shoes.
But Ian,
Uh,
before we do that,
yeah.
just one other thing that I want to mention.
Mhm.
Like when the internet came around and websites were starting to be a thing, or when social media was starting to be a thing, this is going back decades, right? Like everyone said the same thing. I don't really need that. I'm not really interested. It's not gonna be as important as everyone says. And it became important, right? Like now, if you don't have a website, you should be concerned, right? Because if you don't have a website and I'm looking your business up, I'm probably not reaching out to you because I'm concerned as a potential consumer as to why you don't have even a basic website to tell me, where you're located or how to get in touch with you. So you kind of have to frame online reputation and all of these new technologies that are coming out, like pay attention, listen, really think about, how you can benefit as a business from just at least exploring, or at least taking it into consideration because it all does matter because people are paying attention, right? If you pulled up to a restaurant in a really crappy shopping mall that had really dirty windows and like paper signs that were half ripped on the door, would you want to go in? Like that first impression is kind of important. I don't know. I probably would be rethinking and I'd probably be looking for, a better option maybe down the street that just has a better presentation. So that's kind of how you have to think about your online reputation. That is the first impression. That is that brick and mortar visual impression that you're making, to your potential client. It's just that it's online, right? So it has to be consistent. It has to look good. It has to be visually appealing. It has to be thorough and detailed because that's the expectation from today's consumer.
Oh yeah. Yep. The digital storefront is what we like to call it.
Yes,
So
thank you. That's a much better
think of it
word.
that way. We gotta clean up the cobwebs, but we're here to help you do that. And once you complete your quest today, you'll have every step you need to take in order to do so. So
Yeah.
let's walk through again, take some steps in your clients or your prospects' boots and what's the journey that they're taking. So every referral that you get or anyone that's looking you up online, they have to go through these steps in order to determine, are you credible? Can I trust you? Are you reputable? And should I even, call you in the first place? So they're making these decisions and they're going through several steps. And again, think of it, I'm going to keep this in the context of the insurance industry, but this applies to every business. So you could probably think of the same way if you're shopping somewhere or you're going to go to a restaurant, you're probably thinking of many of these same things. So it all connects and it's super important in the insurance industry because of, client retention being key and maintaining a steady flow of new business. So, first and foremost, they get a referral from their friend or family member. That's awesome. That's what you love to see. And I'm sure many of you probably have a refer a friend page or form on your website. And that's a great first step. But beyond that, you have to think every step of the way. Let's think, okay, I'm John, right? I'm looking online. I just got referred to XYZ agency. I'm going to search you online. Let's take a look here. And the search results are what provides the first digital impression. And you want to make sure, do you have a well-maintained online presence? Because that's what's going to enhance your credibility. That's what's going to attract potential clients. So that first thing, when I start searching on Google or, if you use Bing, go for it. But if I'm searching on Google, for example, what shows up? Do you have a listing? Do you have does your website show up first? Do you have like social media links in there too? What's that experience look like? Because if I'm searching for your agency and I'm not really finding your website, maybe I'm seeing like bits and pieces, but I'm seeing like other competitors showing up too. That's not really a good experience because it's harder to find your information. The other part of it is, okay, well, let's take a look at the AI results because we know more and more people are using AI search. And even with their voice search, they can just ask a question and AI is going to answer them. This is pulling directly from what's on your website and the content that's there, as well as across the internet. So, like your directory listings are key here because it's going to pull that data that it knows about your business. And if we're asking as the proverbial prospect, hey, tell me about XYZ agency. Can I trust them? Are they reputable? What do their reviews look like? And then what shows up in that search result of AI and what generates? Because it's going to pull all that information that it knows about your business. And if that information is not accurate or minimal or lackluster, that could be a deciding factor because oftentimes that the search or even just the AI search could be the killer or the hero in your story. Then we're going to move on to looking at, okay, great, I found you online. I'm going to click on and look at that directory listing. So most often this will be Google business profile. Obviously, depending on what search engine you're on or how you're searching, it could be different, like Bing Places. But regardless, we're going to look at that directory listing and see, okay, do you have like business hours listed? Do you have your contact information? Do I see photos of your office building, maybe even of your team? Do I see reviews on there? What's that experience look like? Can I click right to your website? Those are the questions that I'm asking myself. I'm looking up an insurance agency online. After I get through that, let's read those Google reviews. One, do you have any? And secondly, are you responding to those reviews?
Good and
Because
bad.
good and bad. If you think about it, that's kind of like your storyboard. So you're seeing throughout the history of your website, your online presence, people are probably leaving your agency reviews. And that story is being told by your clients. But if you're not being an active participant, well, then, it can make you look like you're not involved. So you want to celebrate those wins, those victory laps with someone who gives you a 5-star review. You need to acknowledge them, thank them. And then the same thing happens for negative reviews. Like they're going to happen. We all know that. So you have to respond to those accordingly in a timely manner, professionally, and just make sure that they feel heard. And that's just going to show as an outside perspective, hey, okay, even if I see a few negative reviews in here, I saw right away they responded to it. They resolved the issue. They did everything they could. Same thing with good reviews. Hey, they respond to every single good review they get. That's a good sign that they are involved with their community of clients.
And that's
Then,
exactly how I judge it, Ian. I mean, I've been on, I've looked for businesses and services where there were a couple of negative reviews and some of them were quite lengthy, but I also saw that the owner of the business replied, and
hmm
gave an option to reach out to them and have a deeper conversation around whatever the situation was. And for me, I didn't care that the negative review was there because what I was paying attention to is how they handled it, right? That's what I care about. If I'm your client, I know that sometimes there's going to be a situation that maybe is not ideal. That happens to every business, no matter how good you are. But it's how you handle that situation that really, makes a difference. And sometimes you do have some client scenarios that are just, off the rails, and no matter what you do, you can't make them happy. But I think in most cases, I think if you just show that you really care and that you're accountable, for your company, your agency, your team, that's really what people pay attention to most.
Oh yeah, of course. And then after we look at those reviews, let's say, okay, you know what? I like what I see here. You're probably going to check out their social media presence, especially if you're active on, like, say, Facebook, LinkedIn, maybe even Instagram. So let's go ahead and click in there. And oftentimes, if your Google business listing is set up right, you're going to have those links to those social media pulled in automatically for you just because of how the algorithms work. So it's really cool. Let's just say, okay, I've read the reviews. I'm going to go ahead and like check out their Facebook or their LinkedIn of this agency. And then what we're looking for there is, do they have an active social media presence that demonstrates engagements with their community, with their clients, that shows transparency? Like maybe there's a post, like personalized posts from them, educational posts,
Or even
and
shows the personality of the
Mhm.
agency, right? Like
Yep.
everyone thinks of insurance as boring and stuffy and just something that you gotta pay for, because you need it. But you don't have to be that as an insurance agency. I mean, we have a lot of clients that have really awesome, personalities and cultures. Let that shine. That's what's going to set you apart.
Yep. And you can always supplement the educational stuff, which is great, which people appreciate, with that personal touch. So whether it's like a photo shoot of your crew at the agency, maybe at like some kind of holiday party, especially nowadays, we're at the end of the year, whether it's like a fun little short video, there's different ways you can engage on social, even just like responding and commenting on posts, sharing things that you see out there that would relate to your audience. You can be that go-to source for information, but also look very credible and active. And it shows who you are and like, okay, they seem like a ton of fun. I wanna work with them. And then we're gonna go from social to, all right, let's explore the website. We'll go in there and see, do they have a well designed, user-friendly website? Does it work on across devices if I'm using a mobile phone or if I'm using my desktop computer here? What does it look like? What's that experience? Does it work well? And also, does it look professional, fresh, new, modern? Are there call to actions that make it abundantly clear? How do I get a quote if I'm a brand new person? Or, hey, maybe I'm a existing client and I need to get servicing. Are those options readily available? Is it easy to navigate your website? That's going to be some signal boosts for you to show, yep, I can trust them. Like they have a full website, they've got forums. I can reach out to them. Maybe they even have a live chat option, so I know they're with the times. They're vibing, as Monica and her kids like to say. Then another aspect of, this is a little bit beyond your website, but this is something that you definitely want to feature on your website in other areas would be awards, certifications, things like that that are from third parties that can really show you're not just saying this about yourself. Like you have proof. Hey, I won the 2024 Best Agency Award in my hometown. Put that on the website. Those are credibility factors that are going to show that you're part of your community or you're, a part of a organization that you've been, praised on your achievements and
Or
you want to
even
shout
just
that out.
community involvement, right? Like, so
Hmm.
if you don't have any awards or if you don't have any certifications to list, it could be as simple as just, if you're involved in a community in any kind of way. You support an organization, you do some kind of volunteer work as an agency, you attend certain events, to kind of represent, the community. Those are all things that you can build into your site to boost that credibility and to kind of show the human side of your agency as well.
100%. That's a great point. And then we're after we look at all that stuff and like, all right, cool. You work with a lot of maybe like the Little League team, and I can see, okay, you're really a integral part of this community that I'm in. Hey, well, what else can we look at? There's, content on your website, things like blog articles, website pages, like coverage information that talks about, well, what if I need home insurance for the first time? I don't really know anything about it. If I'm researching and I look on your website and I see, oh, there's a home insurance page. Oh, it's telling me all this great information. Maybe there's an interactive tool in there that shows me visually, oh, here's the risks and here are the solutions to home insurance. Like that is just a great way to educate people that are maybe they're looking for insurance in a time of need. Like they might need auto insurance badly and they're like, oh, first, can I trust them? And also, are they giving me great information on their website? This
Yeah.
is a great way to do it.
And Ian, these steps, these 10 steps, not everybody's going to do every single one of the 10, right? They might do 8 out of 10 or whatever, or 7 out of 10, but they're going to do the majority of these steps. That's just a normal, human behavior when you're researching a business you want to do
Hmm.
business with. But one key thing to remember is this is not taking them an hour or two, right? They're not like hunting for this information and they have all the time in the world. Like this is probably happening within minutes, like within 3 to 5 minutes at most. So, one critical thing you have to keep in mind is it has to all be easily accessible and it has to be easy enough for them to find, an access and go from one to the other. It cannot be this giant journey that they have to take to dig up all of this information. So I think that's where like
Mhm.
the online reputation is the key that ties all of this together because if you do it right, all of these pieces are at your prospect's fingertips. They're very easily accessible. They can get from one to
Mhm.
the other to the next, and do that research very quickly and feel confident that yes, you're the agency that they should be working with. So that's kind of the goal, right? Is to not only have all of these things, but to make sure they're consistent and to make sure that they're connected so that it's easy to do that research, that little credibility hunt, of your agency.
Exactly. And honestly, each of these could be their entry point to finding you. They
Hmm.
might not come from a referral. They might find you through an AI search. Hey, I'm in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and I'm looking for insurance. Can you help me? That could be their entry point to your business. It
Yep.
could be they find you through organically through a blog post or they just see you on social. Those are entry points where you need to make split second uh,
Yes.
first impressions because they're only going to be looking at that website or that initially that search result for a few seconds before they decide, yeah, they look great or I don't know, move on to the next person, next agency. So great point, Monica.
Yep.
All right. So that's achieving your credibility with those 10 steps.
Good stuff.
All right. Now, let's dive a little deeper. We're going to start with the role of SEO, which is search engine optimization, and AEO, which is answer engine optimization.
Yeah, because SEO wasn't enough to confuse us all, right? They needed to add another acronym.
Look, we're not in charge of these acronyms. We just know that you're asking about them. We know that it's a huge topic in the industry, but also all across the internet. Like every business is thinking about these things now because Google and the powers that be are deciding, yes, we want to use more of AI. We want to use more different ways of finding businesses and how that all tracks. So,
Ian, can I just jump in with one thing because
yeah.
this is such a pet peeve of mine? But I just want to like do two clarification points around AEO and SEO. There is no easy button to SEO or AEO. Anybody who promises you there is an easy button is lying to you. Okay? You cannot just magically optimize your site and a week later it's boom, you've got SEO and AEO. It is laborious, it takes time, and it requires consistency.
Mhm.
So please keep that in mind because this is something I've been preaching for over 10 years, and I still get questions around my site's SEO is terrible. What do you mean? What are you searching for? Like, what terms are you using to determine that? Like, how are you figuring that out? Because usually you're not looking at the right things, you know what I mean? And you're not taking into
Mhm.
consideration the right things. So I just want to make sure that like that we drill down to all of you. There is no easy button when it comes to SEO. And my second thing that I want to drill down on is the majority of SEO AEO work that you can do to actually move the needle is all content related, ongoing content related. Yes, you could have the best foundations on your website when it comes to SEO. Yes, you could stuff your site with keywords if you want to get banned by Google. But at the end of the day, content, ongoing content that is rich and educational and helpful is what's going to win the game for SEO and AEO. So really just wanted to frame this because we're talking about it, I know in a little bit of a different light, Ian, but
Mhm.
these are still daily questions we get on the support team with Agency Revolution. And it kills me because somebody's out there saying things to agencies that are just not true and setting the wrong expectations. So go for
Right, and
it,
that's
Ian.
why you're on our journey with us. We're gonna inform you, give you the right information here so that you feel confident when someone does talk to you about SEO, you know what you're talking about. And
Yep.
same thing with AEO. But if you've heard the myth that SEO is dead, that's not true. There's still a great merit to incorporating SEO strategies on your website. And it actually ties, like Monica said, hand in hand with content and with your AEO search results. So SEO is all about improving your visibility. It's think of it when you're typing online, searching for like a restaurant or searching for, in our case, an insurance industry or agency. What shows up in that search result? That's what we're talking about. And it's still key that your information for your website, your social media, your directory listings, all of that is showing up at the right place and it has that right information. That's what's going to drive traffic and eventually ultimately leads to your business. So let's dive into what that impact of SEO, why it matters, why you should care. You want to have effective strategies for SEO that's going to increase your website's visibility. This is what rewards your good content practices. And think of it this way, like the more you're answering people's questions that they have, the more that you're providing educational information that's related to what you offer, the services and the coverages that you offer, the more opportunities for people to discover you. And then high rankings and search results are often perceived as a sign of credibility and reliability, which ultimately boosts your reputation online. So not only to search results, search engines, but also to people that are looking for you. Like if they see, hey, they have a ton of pages that are showing up as soon as I search for them, great, that's awesome. The other impact of SEO is a sign of credibility and trust, like I mentioned. So this is important because if you're showing up, on the first page, that's a big difference from an agency that might not show up until like the second or third page. Because of your SEO strategy, that's going to help you boost your ranking and show up higher. So that way you're not getting missed out on those missed opportunities if someone is searching online for coverage and they might just never find you if you're not in the game for SEO.
But one key clarification, you have to know what that term is that you're trying to figure out whether you rank for or not. Because
Hmm.
if you just type in home insurance, I guarantee you're never going to rank. And if you type in, auto insurance, guarantee you're never going to rank because Geico and all the other big guys are going to win that game. So you have to, before you search for yourself, because I'm sure a lot of you are going to do that, before you search for yourself, make sure you understand what you're actually searching for and if that's what your website was optimized for. So if you're an
Hmm.
insurance agency in Allentown, Pennsylvania, that's where I would start. Insurance agency in Allentown, Pennsylvania, or insurance in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and see where you land there. And then you can kind of tweak and adjust your strategy on your website. But you can't just randomly choose words that you don't know your website is optimized for and then complain that you're not ranking for SEO. Like, so you have to understand the beginning, but you have to actually identify
Hmm.
what you want to rank for, then figure out if that's what your website is optimized for, and then see where you land on that search.
Oh yeah, no, great point. And then the other impact of SEO is actually your website performance in general. So that's things like optimizing for site speed, for mobile responsiveness. These are the things that happen behind the scenes that your web provider hopefully is doing. Or if you have Forge, we'll do it for you. We do it for you. Those are important because that experience that that user has is what's going to dictate the trust and credibility of not only the search engines, but people that are visiting the site. And that trust factor comes into play all the time with how your agency is going to show up. Those are key indicators like, hey, the search engines have seen 100 searches of this agency and I've like everyone that clicked it had a good experience. Let's show that page even more, even higher. So that's kind of like the simplified way of thinking about it. And by attracting targeted traffic and improving your user experience just in general, oops, uh, SEO can lead to like things like higher conversion rates, more client acquisition opportunities because you're showing up in the right spots when people are looking for your services. And so this is what's going to drive your business growth. And SEO is always the name of the game to make sure you have a website that's optimized, is meeting the expectations, and is staying current with best practices. So let's just take a look here at a real live example. I'm going to pick on YMI Insurance. They're nearby to me. So we'll have a little fun just to show you an example of what you're seeing when you search online. So I searched for their agency, and as you can see, everything on this front page is about their agency. Not only do we see their website, and what you see below that are actually called site links. So this is why having navigation and navigational menus structured is important. It's pulling up key pages like Meet the Team, Stroudsburg, PA office, Contact Us, Read Our Reviews, Insurance Solutions. All of that is derived from Google looking at and crawling the website and saying, these are the pages that this website says are important. So I'm going to show those important pages to the end user. As you can tell, it covers the entire top of the front page here. We also have their social media, one of their social media profiles, their Facebook showing up in the search results. And on the right side, which we'll talk about much more in depth, we'll see the Google My Business profile that features their contact information, business info so that people can get in touch with them. This is all filled out. This is what you want to see when someone searches your agency. So go ahead and try it on your side. See what shows up when you're direct searching your business. Are you seeing something like this, or are you seeing something that's not as impactful
Mhm.
as this is? So some
Agreed.
strategies that we can take. Let's talk through this. First and foremost, you want to establish foundations. This starts with a great website that follows SEO best practices. So what we go over today, make sure you're asking your current web provider, are you doing these things for me, right? And if they're not, well, you might want to consider switching or have them implement this for you. And obviously, again, forge with us. We got you covered with these foundations. But some key things that you want to think about are identify, like Monica said, the relevant keywords that your target audience would be searching for and make sure that's integrated into your content throughout your website. That's what's going to drive that traffic and growth. You also want to ensure that your website is optimized, like we said, mobile friendliness. You also want to have site speed as a key factor. You want to focus on optimizing meta descriptions and titles, headers on your website and blog articles, just to improve the visibility and user engagement. So that's the first SEO strategy we want to talk about. Then we're going to go into blogging. So Monica, I know you love
Yeah,
the topic of SEO blogging. Go for
I
it.
do, and I'll go quick because we
I
got
gotcha.
19 minutes left. So, in terms of blogging, so Ian said a key thing, foundations. Your website should have the foundation, but that's
Mhm.
what it is. It's a foundation to get you started. It doesn't mean it also includes a proactive SEO strategy. So if you are happy with the foundation of SEO and you're good to go, that's awesome. Many agencies are, and that works perfectly for them, and they don't need to worry about anything else. If you're an agency who wants to be proactive about SEO and you really want to make sure that for certain keywords you rank at the top of the first page, that's where SEO blogging comes into play. You want to
Mhm.
write good content very consistently, targeting specific keywords that are location based, okay, on a regular basis. If you have Forge, that's very easy to do because we have AI blogging. So you literally can write an SEO rich blog that fits this criteria within seconds. But if you don't have Forge, you can probably use some kind of a, AI tool that's out there to sort of replicate the same. It's not going to have the insurance context built into it, but it'll do a decent enough job. So blogging is important for being proactive with your SEO strategy. Foundations is important to ensure that the actual like the foundation of your house is built well, right? Like
Mhm.
you have to have the right house foundation because whatever you put on top of that foundation, it could be the best thing, the best material, but if that foundation is not solid, it's all going to crumble. So foundation is important, but that's what it is, foundation. SEO
Mhm.
blogging, that's what helps you be proactive.
And just to add on to that, Monica, being proactive also includes building that location-based content within your blog. So if you're in that Allentown area, for example, writing blogs that pertain to that area, to what people are searching for, that's what's going to help you leverage your
Yep.
content and show up in those relevant searches. But we
Yep.
talked about AEO a lot. What the heck is it? If you don't know, answer engine optimization. This is actually what's pulling from all the data from your website, from online listings, everywhere on the internet about your business. What can AI find out about it? Well, it's pretty scary, but also cool, right? Because if you're doing a search on voice or on your computer, this is what's going to show up about your agency. We want to make sure that information is as accurate as possible. So, what the impact of AEO is, it ensures that your content is featured prominently in AI-driven search results, making it more accessible to users when they are looking for those quick answers. We call it the zero-click experience, where they might not even click your website right away. They're just looking like, okay, well, I have a question about auto insurance, and you answer it, they might come back later and become a client because you helped them out in that tight spot.
Mhm.
And then by providing concise, relevant answers within your content, AEO can actually lead to higher user satisfaction and longer engagement times on your site because, hey, I got this answer. Let me read more about it. They go to your blog article about auto insurance. that's going to get drive traffic and drive business for you.
And it's a no-click search. Honestly,
Mhm.
that's it, to wrap it up, Ian. It's basically a no-click search, meaning you can get an answer to your question without clicking on any link in that
Hmm.
Google search result,
Oh yeah.
which is really like the magic of AEO.
And this is just an example. You've probably used AI search before, but this is just me asking about what, tell me about why am I agency? Like, who are they? What do they offer? And it pulled up a lot more than this, but this is just a short preview. Contact information, hours of operation, services offered, and even lists like some personal life insurance and business lines. All of that's a lot of that's pulled from the website, and then also on the right side is linking to their website and even their YouTube videos. So very cool how this works, and it pulls in from that data that is on your website.
So now imagine if that data wasn't consistent.
Hmm.
What
What would show
AI
up?
would come back with would be like, well, there are, inconsistent, data points. It could be this, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this. But right away, that impression that you're making is that you're scattered and messy and, I'm going to skip and move on because I want a single answer. I don't want to have to
Hmm.
figure out which answer is correct.
Yeah, so let's go over some strategies that, this is a prime topic to talk about with AEO. And so here are some actions you can start taking now to improve your website and online experience with AEO in mind. So one step to take is to start by building FAQs. And typically we'll recommend adding these to your existing coverage pages, for example, or even in blog articles. These are answering the most common questions that you're asked. So check in with your team, your CSRs, your agents. Ask them, what are clients asking for on a regular basis? What are your prospects asking about? And then make sure you inject those common questions and actually answer them directly. That's what's going to help you show up online. You want to also have fresh content. So always think about what can you be adding to your website. Like Monica said, writing new blog articles, updating your existing pages, and also make sure that that content is based on those real questions that you're being asked. And you want to write clearly in a conversational tone just to make sure that not only are search engines seeing like this is educational information, but people reading it are actually sticking around. They want to take that in. And because AI is looking for that tone when they're being asked questions, the way people ask a question is not going to be robotic. It's going to be like, hey, I'm looking for auto insurance. They're talking to their AI assistant like a friend most often. So they want to get that kind of that
Yeah.
vibe.
It has to be human. And Ian, if
Hmm.
they have a Forge website with us, right, and if they're on the newest version of their Forge website, that's built in. So
Hmm.
FAQs, in a clearly stated way, in a friendly tone, are built into your Forge website if you're on the most recent version of our website. So
Exactly. Here's an
that's what
example right
that could
here.
look like. Yep, exactly.
So let's go into the credibility factors.
Yes.
We're going to talk about each of these in a lightning round fashion, as we like to do here. So, first and foremost, directory listings. I love to talk about this stuff. These are, think of like, as you can see in the picture, Facebook, Google, Bing, Apple Maps. There's a ton of those out there that's where people are searching for in those channels, or they're finding you through organic searches or direct searches. So you want to make sure that you have your agency information accurate. So the three key things we always like to talk about are name, address, and phone number. Those are the three most important things. If those are accurate, great. Everything from there is a bonus, but you want to make sure that that information is right because if someone tries to find you or contact you and that information is wrong, bad
Yeah.
experience right off the get-go. You want to
Accurate and
complete
consistent.
you want to complete all of the information on those directory listings too. That's a quick tip there because if you just maybe you claim your listing and you just let it go for years, that information is probably not right and it's probably not optimized to the best of your abilities. So you want to ensure that you claim or create those profiles on those top directory listings. And we'll tell you a little bit about how you can do that with our platform. But here's an example from YMI. Their directory listing, one shows their great reviews, but it also shows, a link to their website, a link to call them, their phone number, their office hours are down below right here. So we also have a link to their appointment scheduler. This is a great experience if you're just trying to find their contact info right away. This is what we want to see.
Agreed. Yep.
Then we have reputation and reviews. So this is important because what your strategy should be is accumulate positive reviews on platforms like Google, Yelp, all of the bigger ones out there, but Google is the most important, just to build that trust. You want to feature those reviews that you're getting prominently on your website. That's going to build your social proof to people that are looking for you. And you also, again, respond to those reviews, good and bad. That's the key here. But we can see YMI is doing this just in the best way possible. They got a personalized review, and instantly, as you can see, this was from 6 months ago. They answered it right away, thanking them and
Yeah.
personalizing it. This is what makes the difference here.
I agree with that. The personalization is key because I've seen some responses to reviews that are automated and ugh, they make me cringe.
You
Some
want to put
things
a
you should
personal
automate
touch.
and some things you should not.
Hmm. Social media. So what we're going to talk about here is, staying active, and that means regularly posting and engaging with your followers. That demonstrates that you have an active presence, you have a pulse online, you have a personality to your business. Everyone does, I know it. You want to maintain a professional yet approachable tone that aligns with your brand identity. So every agency is different. You could do this in a variety of ways, but you just want to make sure you're putting your business out there, you're putting your team out there, and just putting a face to the name of your business. And same thing with reviews. You want to respond to comments that you get, do it promptly, and then that just shows that you're transparent and willing to connect with people. So here's a great example of YMI, how they have their listing or their social media set up. This is just on LinkedIn, but as you can see, they filled out every single field here. Great information. It's all consistent with what's on their website, with what's on their directory listing. So wherever they're finding them, you're going to be able to contact YMI Insurance. Their business information is right here, and it looks professional and with their branding. And then of course, we have website experience. So, not to be outdone, this is having a well-designed, easy to navigate website is what builds trust. Makes it easy for visitors to find that information about your business. That also is a key for providing that valuable information that Monica is talking about. That's what's going to showcase your expertise, build your credibility online, and you also want to provide content that educates your clients on insurance topics, helping to build that trust with your book of business.
And it has to be accessible on mobile device. I mean, I
Hmm.
still see more websites than I need to or should where, they're desktop only. If you get on mobile, it's you got to scrunch and expand and you know what I mean? It's just a terrible experience. So your website really needs to be mobile responsive.
Exactly. And as we can see here from YMI, this is what it looks like on desktop, this section of their website. And if we go into mobile view, it works just fine. All the information is there and it's easy and a simple format for someone to use. And as you can see, they have the live chat feature. It's available here too. So they can easily click that and start chatting in with the YMI team. So here's some quick steps for you to take. So step one, and all of this is going to be part of your giveaway, by the way. So just keep that in mind. Step one, you want to establish a website presence. So first, you want to have a professional look to it. A well-designed website is what's going to instill the confidence in your visitors that are finding you for the first time, and that's going to encourage them to explore your website further. So again, we're going to hit on the premise of being responsive. Is your website fast loading? Maybe you want to switch providers if it's not. And engagement. Make sure you have clear call to actions. That's one thing we see missing often, where it's very hard to find the contact us button or, hey, I just want to get a quote. It's hard to find that information to reach out to you. Make sure you're engaged with how you have your website set up. Then, next step, grow your directory listings presence. So, first and foremost, go out there and claim your listings. Look up your business. If you see like a Google listing and it's unclaimed, you'll see a little button that says claim this listing. Go through that process. It takes a little bit of work, but once it's done, you're going to see long-term benefits. Make sure you do that on the major ones like Google, Yelp, Facebook, Bing, Apple Maps. Go through that process. If you don't have a listing, go ahead and create one. You also want to make sure as you're searching, all that information is consistent. And if it's not, go ahead and update it. And then you want to add as much information as possible so that people can find the right details on your business. Step three, boost your online reputation. So first and foremost, you want to start getting those reviews, and you can ask for that in a variety of ways. This is where our Fuse platform comes into play, where it sends out an automated NPS survey. But it also, our Forge platform comes with an add-on feature, reputation management. So you can actually send out automated surveys that also ask for Google reviews, a nice little touch. You want to respond to those reviews in a timely manner. Our platform allows you to do that and highlight reviews. So you're able to do that with Forge, which automatically will pull in those 5-star reviews that you're getting. And you're like, hey, that looks great. Put it on my website. It does it for you. No questions asked. Very simple, but a great key indicator of not only do you have great reviews on your site, but they're changing constantly because you're getting more reviews. Step four, like Monica mentioned, you want to create that blogging strategy. So choose those topics. What are people asking about the most? Pick those as your topics and start writing content about them. The great thing about blogging might seem scary, but actually, if you're using a platform like Forge, we have a built-in AI tool, like Monica mentioned, that will write the blog for you. It also does all the SEO work behind the scenes. You don't have to worry about a thing. You can just say, hey, here are my ideas. It has that context built in of the insurance industry, so it knows how to build a great blog article based on your topic. And then promote that, put it on social, get it out there to boost your website traffic in different channels. That shows that you're active. And then that leads right into engaging on social as the step five. This is what else you need to do here. You want to plan out that content. So create a little schedule for yourself. Okay, I want to post maybe once a week or something. Great. Do that, stick with it, and start engaging with your audience. So if people are commenting on your posts, be sure to respond. And also if like maybe like a natural disaster happens or the weather's pretty rough, you might want to do a post for your audience and be like, hey, we're here for you. Let us know if you need any help, like a claim or something based on this tornado that's coming through or something. So stay engaged. Now you can do that too with our social media platform. That actually enables you to not only use our content library posts, but you can create your own and also use our AI curator tool, which will say, hey, we think you'll like these posts. It'll share it for you on your behalf. It's pretty nifty and it helps you out in staying active and showing that you have a pulse. So
Yeah,
let's
Ian,
take.
and the exciting part is that everything you talked about today is built into our
Mhm.
Forge website platform and our Fuse marketing automation and all of the add-ons that are available. So kick off the poll,
Yeah,
right?
Kira, if you won't mind
Because
kicking off our poll here, are you
yeah,
interested in learning more and having our team reach out to you because we want to make sure that you can achieve your 2026 goals. So
yeah.
feel
And
free,
we have
we'll
some
leave
great
this.
promotions, Ian, don't we? End of year
Hmm.
promotions that the sales team is kind of holding in their back pocket. Because you
Oh
know how
yeah.
sales teams operate. I mean, you guys are in sales too on the agency side, right? End of year rush, end of month rush. So if you are interested in any of these, right, our marketing automation, our Forge website, our add-on tools to kind of help you with that online credibility, this is a really good time to talk to our sales team. They'll do a little consult, and
Hmm.
I'm sure that they have a deal that they'll pull out of their back pocket for you. And we work with a lot of different carriers and other partnerships. So there's other incentives, that you may be able to take advantage of as well, like co-op money or something like that.
Exactly. Use up those co-op dollars
Yep.
and make sure you take advantage of our special discounts that our sales team is offering through the end of the year. I know one of them is going to be, you get your first month free of your monthly fees, whether you're upgrading and you're already a client of ours or you're getting new services. So definitely feel free to let us know if you'd like us to reach out, and our team will do so.
We'll
Now,
keep the poll open for
yeah,
a
we'll
little bit so that you have a
take
chance
your
to
time.
respond. But Ian, this is my favorite part because our webinars, I think, are a wealth of knowledge, and you do a phenomenal job with them. But every webinar we do, you always have an amazing resource that's a takeaway. And this is not just like some random resource, one pager that just gives you a short little checklist that you don't know what to do with. Like we get into the weeds in these resources and really roadmap for you everything that you need to do to kind of replicate what we just talked about. Right, Ian?
Hmm.
And this
Oh
is one of
yeah.
those. I love this one.
No, this will walk you through what you learned here today so you can take those actions and start implementing them as you move into 2026 and beyond. So this will get you set up for next year. I know it's a kind of a mad rush. 2025 is almost over. It's crazy, but I think
Mhm.
this will help you out to get to right the ship and make sure you have a great start to your new year. So that's
Love
coming
it.
your way. And now, for sticking around, we appreciate you. We will be doing a little giveaway here. So get your typing fingers ready, pull up the chat here, and we're gonna go ahead and do a little trivia. So the first three people to answer the right to give the right answer to this question that I'm gonna show you next
In
will
chat, right?
in
In chat.
chat, in
Yeah.
the chat. If it yeah, so make sure it's in the chat, not the Q&A. Will win the Holy Grail of our webinar series mug here. So super exciting. This will be a limited edition. So let's get ready. I hope you know your Monty Python trivia.
All right, let's
So,
go.
question. What creature were the knights deathly afraid of in the movie Monty Python and the Holy Grail? Let's see who gets this right. All right, we got a few answers coming in. Keep them coming, guys. All right. Annie's giving us some answers. Glenn, Brianna, Amy. We're looking. Keep it coming. We don't have three winners yet. I'm not gonna say anything. Up, Gamal, you just finished it off here. So the answer is the rabbit of Caerbanong, as Lauren put in there to remind me of the full name of that rabbit. So yes, of course they're afraid of dragons, but the funny part of that movie was they were told about this scary, mysterious creature, and they go and find it, and they're like, "Well, that's just a rabbit." Well, if you haven't seen it yet, I won't spoil it, but let's just say it doesn't end too well for the knights that show up and try to fight that rabbit. So we have our three winners here. We have Annie, we have Glenn, and Gamal. You are our lucky winner. So be on the lookout
Woohoo!
for an email from us. We'll get you in touch with how you can get your prize, which is again your little holy grail here. So congrats to the winners, and
Yeah, nice job.
we love to do these little giveaways. So stay tuned for our future webinars. You have plenty more chances to win some exclusive AR swag. And let's dive into some
Question.
questions here. So if you have any
Yeah,
questions, feel free to throw them into the Q&A. I know I saw a few come through that Kira answered, and we'll dig into those live here. But feel free to start posting your questions in the Q&A or even in the chat if you need to.
yeah.
And
I saw a few really good ones.
while we do that, I'll pull up our contact information here. So if you want to get in touch, again, feel free to fill out that poll before we pull that. And then you can also use this QR code to schedule a one-on-one marketing consultation with our team. We would love to chat with you, talk about your 2026 goals, and talk about where your online reputation is and where you want it to be and how we can help you get there. So
Yep.
we invite you to do that. And Kira's going to post in the chat the link to that if you would like to schedule a consultation with us. So let's see
Ian,
what
we have some good questions
see what
that
we
I saw
got.
on chat. So
Mhm.
the one is how often should blogs be posted from Cassandra, which is a really great question. There's no right or wrong answer to this. I would say start with as much as you can handle in a consistent way, right? So if you only have enough resources or time to do once a month is great. If you could do it once every 2 weeks, great. If you could do it once every week, amazing, right? So it's less about how often and more about the consistency of it. I would
Exactly.
say probably once a month would be the minimum that I'd want to target, because it'll just take you so much longer if you space it out too long. It'll take you so much longer to build up that SEO and AEO credibility. So try starting with at least once a month and then amp it up as you have more time or more resources. But remember, if you do use an AI blogging tool like what's built into the Forge website, that once a month job is literally going to be less than 5 minutes from start to finish, right? So it's not as scary as it looks. So really good question. Um,
Exactly. And I'll add to that too. We actually did a webinar a few months ago, Monica and I, about SEO blogging on on that subject. So I invite you to watch that, Cassandra. I think that'll be helpful with some tips and advice. But we showed you how you can actually use our AI tools, or you could possibly use other AI tools too. But we walked through how you can plan out your entire content strategy for the entire year, for an entire calendar year of blog content and topics, and actually writing those blog articles in just a couple hours for that whole year. So think of it. You're literally doing all of that marketing work in a couple hours and then you're done for the whole year. Like you can kind of, sure, you could tweak things and make adjustments, but this is that supplemental, SEO blog that you can focus on a specific topic, answering specific questions like we mentioned that really helps with AEO. And that can be tied in, like if you want to do a regular blog article that's talking about like maybe you won an award and you highlight that, or maybe someone new joined your team and you want to showcase that person and do a nice little blog post. Like you can always supplement the SEO blogs from the more personal side, the more educational side too.
Yeah. We had a few questions around SEO and, how my site ranks
Hmm.
and, was my site built with SEO? There was one about someone had about, they have a site with us with Agency Revolution and they're not sure if some of that information was covered. Technology moves fast, right? Depending on when your site was built, with whom, at what point in time, that's going to impact what was done originally, right? Because how we built sites 4 years ago is different than how we built sites today. Things change at the speed of light, including AEO now being important, whereas, a year or two ago, nobody even knew that term. So I would say a few things. If you're currently our client and you're like, I wonder how my SEO is doing, you could always email in to our client experience team and just say, hey, like just curious, do I have the right SEO foundations in place on my website? And we will be happy to answer that question for you. But if there's some questions around how I rank. That's really hard to determine. Like, how do you rank? Okay, well, I mean, there's technologies that can help you do that. But at the simplest, first identify what you want to rank for. And I
Hmm.
always say, like I said it before, focus on the most important keyword and your physical location. So again, if you have an insurance agency in I don't know, San Angelo, Texas. Husband's from there. I would probably want to rank for at least insurance in San Angelo, Texas, or insurance agency in San Angelo, Texas. And usually when we build sites, those are the things that we take into consideration. We want you to rank for insurance or insurance agency and your physical locations, and that's kind of the foundation that we set for you. Once you identify that, right? You want to make sure that that's actually what your site was optimized for. And that happens during the build process with us, right? We have you fill out a questionnaire, and that's how we determine what those keywords are going to be for you. And then, you could use a tool that you pay for like SEMrush to figure out how you rank on Google, but you also can just do a simple Google search in incognito
Hmm.
mode on
Good
your
point there.
browser for insurance agency in San Angelo, Texas, and see where you pull up. The reason why incognito mode is important is because, the search results that Google gives you are based on prior search results, searches that you've made, right? So they could be impacted if you don't do it in incognito. So it doesn't have to be this big scientific thing that you sign up for and pay for and spits out a report for you. Like it could
Hmm.
really be a very simple thing that you just check, and you're not always going to be number one, but if you're on page one, and if you do all of these best practices that we talked about today with directory listings and having a good online reputation, the odds of you popping up at the top of the list, and in the sidebar for the Google My Business listings for those specific keywords that really are important to your agency, they're much higher, right? Because you're doing all of the right things. And then if you want to be even more proactive and kind of expand your keywords, that's where that ongoing blogging really is helpful because that ongoing content is what's going to help you sort of push that needle even further than what SEO foundations helped you do.
And it's a journey. Like, there's lots of stuff you can do, like Monica said. It's just that starting point is getting the foundations. And once you have the foundations in place, you can move from there, the blogging and the proactive strategies and approaches. We have an SEO resource on our website you can check out if you want to learn more. We also have a series of three SEO related webinars that we ran this year, actually. So they're very up to date. That'll give you a great wealth of information to help you figure out what the foundations are, figure out how to create your blogging strategy, and then take the next level up with your SEO game with proactive strategies.
Yeah.
So there's a you want to take a measured approach and make sure that it's within your means and within your capacity because if you're just starting out, like you don't have to shoot for the moon right away. You need to get the
Yeah.
basics done first.
And I keep seeing questions from Melissa about SEO. So, Melissa, I'm just going to clarify it live. If your site was built a few months ago, SEO foundations have been built into your site, and they're based on probably a term like insurance or insurance agency and your physical location. So you have the foundation. I would really probably stay away from paying for a tool like SEM Rush to try to run some SEO analysis, and I would just do a simple search for that keyword on Google using incognito mode. And as Kira mentioned a few times, just reach out to our client experience team if you have more questions.
Exactly. All right. Do we
Uh,
have any last
Kira, you said
questions?
something, you said that someone had a question
Yes.
about
So Ike asked
Ike.
earlier specifically more so if we were referring to Google reviews, but he brought up a good point. Uh, we could always speak towards best practices about the reviews coming in from the Agency Revolution website that he has with us. So is there something he should be doing with those reviews, do you think?
Yeah, so Google reviews are obviously important, and how you feature those on your website is key. So, if you have a website, and in Ike's case, it sounds like you do have a Forge website. Thank you. Great. Uh, featuring reviews is a great strategy, but you also want to think that, having a tool like reputation management will actually do that job for you. It'll automatically pull in brand new reviews that just came through and you can approve them. So like if a review comes through and it's not so nice, you don't have to put that one on your site. You can click just, yep, I like that review. It goes automatically on your website. That's a big credibility factor to not only see new reviews, fresh reviews that are more timely, because you're always going to get different reviews that speak to something that's maybe more personalized. Like your first reviews that you put on your website, sure, they're fine, but then you might get one that's really personalized. Like maybe you're a one-person shop and they mention you by name and they tell their story. That's going to do a heck of a lot more than just a more generic review, which sometimes we see, which is great. Like we love to see reviews, but you want those impactful stories that people are talking about your agency, and having those on your website is really helpful because it can pull if I'm doing an AI search and I'm like asking about what do people think, if you have a lot of great reviews, it's going to probably say, well, there's an overwhelmingly positive reviews f for this agency, and it might even pull a few examples from your website. So it's great to keep that fresh and new. And also for your existing clients, like if they're like thinking about renewal time, they see a review pop up that's brand new they've never seen before. It's like, wow, that's a great story. It might even invite them to leave you a review because it's like, you know what? I had a similar experience. I want to give them a review too. Thank you everyone for taking the time to join us on the credibility quest. We appreciated your time and hopefully you found all of this valuable. We look forward to seeing you on the next one.